Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia ingin memaklumkan bahawa terdapat 135 kes yang telah pulih dan dibenarkan discharge pada hari ini. Ini menjadikan jumlah kumulatif kes yang telah pulih sepenuhnya daripada jangkitan COVID-19 dan telah discharge pada ward adalah sebanyak 3,102 kes, iaitu bersamaan dengan 58.5% daripada jumlah keseluruhan kes. Sehingga 18 April 2020 jam 12 tengah hari, terdapat 54 kes baru yang telah dilaporkan. Ini menjadikan jumlah kes positif COVID-19 di Malaysia adalah sebanyak
Okay guys, great news. Today day 32 of MCO, and we have managed to reduce our number of active cases even further. Today we've heard there are 54 new cases in the country and 135 discharged. Okay, but at the same time, whilst we look at encouraging numbers, let's not relax. Let's not assume the war is over. It's not. Okay, we have to keep up. We have to keep our efforts up in our MCO. Continue to practice good social distancing and continue to break the chain so that we can bring COVID-19 under control. But as we allow ourselves to be encouraged by today's developments, spare a thought also to our neighbors down south, where Singapore have overtaken Malaysia's numbers and and recorded more than 900 cases in the past 24 hours. So anyways, let's just pray for not just our own people but for everybody around the world, that COVID-19 comes down to let's hope we come out of this crisis as soon as possible. Okay, and yesterday I just took this little girl here for her vaccination. Okay, got some comments on my video of yesterday also. Patoisis, I'm not sure if I pronounced your name correctly. Interesting to see see the extreme of reactions. Some don't care while others are paranoid. Let's all, and you made a few elaboration, but your point you summarize your points. Let's all be sensible, but not to the extreme of paralysis or abandon. And I agree with you. On this. That fine line between caution and paranoia is very thin, is very narrow. And we have to exercise extreme caution, but at the same time we cannot allow ourselves to be paralyzed by fear of the disease. So we have to hold on to hope that we will emerge from this crisis, and we will see a semblance of normal life resume, hopefully not too soon. Not too far. Hopefully not too far into the future. Okay. Kelvin asked me if the shirt I wore was the Petronas AMG one. The thing is hanging out there. Wait, let me get the T-shirt. Okay. Well, it's not the AMG T-shirt. This is the T-shirt. It is the T-shirt. It's the one they printed to promote the in conjunction with the launch of Mercedes Me, their Mercedes Me program. All right. Okay, so continuing with the next question, Gary Tan, you noted on 10 minutes and 59 seconds I said woo Nyama. Why? Because as I was approaching a left turn, another car just suddenly rushed out, almost wanted to come out, but managed to stop on time. So that was my little reaction to that. Let's see. Okay, let's come on to the car buying questions. Aaron V. surveying a used SUV around 90 to 100k for your Mrs. Daily point A to point B use. BMW X1 or Countryman. Any good recommendation for that budget? Now here's something interesting. So I checked on the used car market. 90 to 100k is the zone where the X1 actually does not exist. Yeah, you see, because the first gen X1 have all dipped below 90,000 ringgit. The second gen X1 is all above 110,000 ringgit. So it's a question of which X1 are you looking at. But as a daily car for your missus, the second gen X1 is a way better car. It is a much bigger car, more spacious inside, better built inside. Okay, but of course the first gen X1 is the one that's nicer to drive because it's based on the E90 chassis. The diesel version has hydraulic power steering. It also has X drive. All right, only the diesel version had X drive. So the diesel, I remember when I first drove the diesel version, I was, on one hand, the ride is just ridiculously harsh, but yet on the other hand, I remember driving anything on Karak Highway, that thing just seemed to have an endless reserve of grip. It's like whatever corner you see in, you just throw the car in and it goes. So yeah, but I think if you're buying a daily car for the missus, that's probably not what you're looking for. But if you're looking for something with a bit of more sporting character, the first gen X1 is actually way better. But if you're looking as a day-to-day driver with practicality concerns, second gen X1 definitely better. But prices on listings are starting at 120,000. So if you're looking to keep your purchase at 110,000 ringgit price bracket, you've got to negotiate hard. All right, or Countryman. Countryman at that price point, it's still the previous gen Countryman, 1.6 Prince engine. So I mean, if that's a nice fun car too. All right. So if you and you see and the thing about minis is that, right, minis usually are built to slightly higher quality than the CKD BMWs. For practical considerations, the X1 is the second gen X1 definitely is the pick of the lot. The Countryman is something a little more fun, all right, a little more quirky. So yeah, but it's also a good choice nonetheless. Kaheng, how about a 2010-2011 Volvo S60 T6, 50,000? That one is an interesting car because it's probably the only car out there with a 3-liter inline 6 mounted transversely. Yeah, so that car's a bit of an oddball, rather insane car. I've not driven it before, but 50,000, you get a 3-liter inline 6, get all-wheel drive. To me, it's good value. But of course, that being said, that is a very uncommon engine. So yeah, maintenance may be a bit of sourcing for parts may be difficult. You need to get hold of a good Volvo specialist that will be able to handle this car, because you see, unlike the S60 T5 or the S60 T4, which use the Ford engine, or the later Drive E engines, those are a bit more common. This one is very rare. Okay, so when you have if let's say you're doing your maintenance, any parts specific to this engine, you may not have replacement parts readily available, may require to order. Paul Chung is saying, no longer using morning kiss. Well, basically I just use whatever toothpaste that my wife buys, so it depends on what she sees in the supermarket. Okay, here's another question on the X1. Okay, so Desmond Cole asks, second-hand BMW X1 2019 or second-hand Mercedes GLA 250 2017 or brand new Volkswagen Tiguan? Okay, a second-hand BMW X1 2019 is about 170,000 ringgit. So if you're looking at that price, so I'm looking at that as your price point. The X1, of course, if you're looking at all these, between these three choices, X1 is the best choice to go for. But as an alternative, maybe you can consider a Volvo XC60. about 2014, 2015. That's one segment up. You have to go a couple of years older than that, but still pretty new and fantastic SUV all the same. Okay, Raymond Cheong asks, will you recommend Passat 2.0, new Camry or new Accord? If Honda, what do you think of the CVT reliability? I know of no issues of the current generation Honda CVT's reliability, so I think it's safe to go. But between these three cars, of course, if you have the Passat, I think, right, personally, between these three cars, I like the Camry the most. Yeah, I mean, the Camrys, I've not driven the Accord yet lah. Okay, so when it comes to driving, I can only compare between the Passat and the Camry. Now, the Passat, of course, gets a turbocharged engine, you get plentiful of torque. But the Camry TNGA platform, the chassis of the Camry, it's really special. There's something very special about that chassis. The way it flows around the bends. It's something that if you appreciate the finer details of handling, the Camry is a very worthy choice. Okay, the Accord is fantastic bang for buck, great value, great features. I've not driven the car, so I can't comment on the car from a driving standpoint. Passat 2.0 is also a fantastic choice. No objections to get there. For you to get in there, you get the most advanced engine. And of course, even though the Passat's rated outputs is lower than the Accord, being a 2-liter engine, the engine is stressed a lot less compared to that of the 1.5 liter in the Accord. So personally, between these three, in terms of order of preference, I'd choose the Camry, then the Passat, then the Accord. Gary Ma, on charging the car battery, do you think driving around will charge it more compared to leaving the engine idle for the same duration of time? I've been idling my engine twice a week during MCO, around 5-10 minutes each time. Somehow I find barely enough to charge to start up the engine. You could be dealing with a weak battery, or you may have alternator issues. But of course, driving the car around definitely charges the battery better than just sitting there idling lah. Okay. Beng Hong, which tires would you recommend for Suzuki Swift, currently using 195/55 R15? And then Ken Hong also follow up, Vios NCP 93 manual, also the same size. My choice, at that size, if you have the budget, Michelin PS3, no question. That's what I'm using on my Waja, and I recommend that for anybody shopping for tires at that size. Okay, now although yes, if you go 16-inch upwards, Michelin has upgraded to has moved on to the PS4, but for 15 inches, they are only offering the PS3, but the car, okay. But for 15 inches, they are offering the PS3, but the tires are running on the same compound as the new PS4. So I've been using the PS3 on my Waja and my Persona before this, on both cars. Very happy with them, and yeah, very happy to get another set of them next. Okay, so let's see. Hakim asks, what do you think of the Preve Turbo? Where do you think it ranks amongst its rivals in terms of handling, practicality, efficiency, and performance? Rarely see car reviewer talk about Preve compared to its Hatch Brothers Suprema. Given that few-year-old Preve is quite cheap, do you recommend it for fresh grads or newly employed? Well, yeah, it's quite cheap. So if you want to get one, try to get as new a unit as possible. They have discontinued the car. Handling, the car does well. Practicality, big boot, spacious interior. Efficiency, performance, the CVT saps too much of the engine's power. So you're not looking at very exciting performance, but you have very mature dynamics, handling, and ride comfort. Okay, yes. Just like how I advised Fermi Paradox that day on the Suprema versus the Saga, right? Preve is a good buy. Go for it. Of course, ensure that the car is well taken care of. Ensure that the oil cooler hose is changed, and all should be all right. Okay, Jensen L. Car wiper maintenance perspective. Car is parked outside the house under the hot sun. Will lifting up wipers make a difference? Yes. Lifting up the wipers will make a difference. Of course, if you park under shade, it's not a big deal, but under the sun, yes, it makes a difference. Ikitani, oh, you're the guy with the Safiro 3.0. Okay, you definitely miss. I'll definitely miss the big CC 6-cylinder feeling. Looking into a BC segment car because you already have an E60 523 N52. Okay, definitely lose to Safiro for power delivery. Not sure what you meant by that. Maybe the what lah? Maybe the in terms of sheer output, yeah, definitely the 523 will lose out to the 3 liter, and also power delivery. I think the 523 should be smoother, right? But then again, you can't make up for displacement. All right. For the loan part, did you think of getting maybe 80 to 90% loan? It's getting married mostly next year, so better have the cash in hand for expenses to come. Good thinking. Try not to overspend on your wedding. Okay, T124 and Volvo 850 wagon did actually cross my mind, but for the reason above, maybe much later in future. Yeah, fair point. How about Exora 1.6 manual and S-Max? You suggested in reply for other comment. The Exora is not bad. Of course, if you go for a manual, then you're looking at a car with very little maintenance issues. But then again, the automatic that comes with the Exora CPS also is not a problematic one, so it's not a big deal. S-Max, a fantastic car. They are going for cheap, but to be frank, you do have to set aside about 5-10,000 ringgit in cash for potential repairs. There is a very good chance that you will need to do some work on the gearbox and the turbo and the steering rack. Jason Kwong, what are your opinions on an A6 hybrid? Looks like a bargain buy, but a bit worried it will be reliable. Planning to get this for my old folks. Oh, okay. Well, for this question, stay tuned for my next video because I'll be getting Tana to answer this for you. Okay, stay tuned for that. Tan Kok Eun, F30, 330i or 330e? 330i for me, no question. And Baldwin Chua, stay on for the post-credit scene. Yeah, please do. Okay, I've been inserting post-credit scenes into my recent videos, so do check them out. This is a comment on my Persona overheating video. Mazlan Faris asked one shot. Yep, your Aurizn has that problem too. Yeah, Aurizn and Persona share the same chassis and same engine. So those of you guys driving what 2015 to 2016 Aurizn and Personas, have your regularly flush your radiator. Okay, yes, regularly flush a radiator, because what happened with my Persona at that time was that there was a rust in my thermostat pipe that caused rust sediments to build up inside the radiator, sumbat the radiator, and resulted in overheating. Right now we don't regularly rev our E53 to the higher rev ranges, only do that on venting or highway pools. We should enjoy your cars, yes, but kind of scared if I push it too hard, something else might go wrong. So we are relatively conservative with our prolonged full throttle applications for now. Fair enough. Laureen Wong, what's your opinion on used Nissan Lashio 2008 1.6? Darian Lee added a comment. You've got 3 Nissan Lashios? Why do you have 3 Nissan Lashios for? But yeah, I mean, yeah, makes sense. All right, it's spacious, no issue, just very basic, very simple cars that if you take care of them well, won't give you any headache. Okay, so yeah, that's all the time I have for questions today. Do stay tuned for my next video, and if you have any car buying questions, drop me a line in the comment section below. Okay, cheers. Okay, it's time to go and eat. Go, my mom, go. Tanah. Alamak.